Everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reaction. I'm Griffin, this is Theta, and we are watching another episode of Gundam. We're watching Wailing! That's what the episode title is called.
As far as we know.
No, that's what they said the title was.
Maybe it's the subject matter. Maybe we're going to cover the very political subject matter of whaling.
So you see, this episode actually is a stand-in for Moby Dick. You see, this is the white whale. That's what the kids represent, and of course, the people chasing them are consumed by their vengeance, which will destroy them, because the heroes will destroy them.
Oh, is that your interpretation? I thought we were going to cover the business practice of Riot Games and that how it targets specific people with lots of money to buy skins for characters in what is supposedly a free game.
Well, we could both be wrong, and this could actually be a reference to Futurama and the Whalers of the Moon, you see. And so we're going to get a nice little song and dance in the middle of the episode.
I mean, it does seem like one character does wield a harpoon.
This is true, so perhaps he is the titular whaler on the moon. So all silliness aside, our heroes are being chased, and honestly, that's about all that really needs to be said. This is where the action's going to start,
I mean, maybe we should say a little something about what's going on.
All right,
and not just assume that, just not assume that people are walking into this episode, unlike us, 2 minutes from the previous episode. And that maybe, I don't know, a week has passed since the last episode of ours that they've seen.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone what's been happening? What's leading into this?
Okay, well, they got away from Mars, and then they had a fight in space where we had, God, I can't remember his name. So let's see. He was wearing the red uniform this whole time. He's been bashing his head into walls every time something doesn't go his way. He got in touch with Fat Hitler, who told them the plans in exchange for money, and then he got himself bashed in the face and sent off to the other organization whose name starts with a C that we apparently both can't remember, despite having said multiple times in the last half hour. Yeah, so you had that and Orcus, his faction, trying to also take out the ship. So effectively 3 different factions. I can't remember if Gellerhorn is the name of the Earth Sphere thing, or if it's just the one faction or not. If it's just the one faction, we have Gellerhorn, the C name, and then Orcus is a little corporate authority, whatever it is.
At some point, I'm just going to pull up the wiki.
I
swear I'll do it.
Don't do it. As somebody who has already once pulled up the wiki, don't do it.
You'll see. Lies madness.
Okay, here. I have been spoiled to one thing, and I will share that spoiler just because I didn't read anything more about it.
Okay.
I wanted to know what Fat Hitler's name was, so I looked it up. And the very first image on there is Fat Hitler in a very ornate suit. Like a very colorful, ornate suit.
He gets promoted.
Yeah, despite the last thing we see of him is him in his boxer shorts with a bruised-ass face and shit written on him. He's coming back. We ain't done with him. He looks better than ever.
Oh boy, this is gonna be exciting.
So yeah, I would say don't look at the wiki if you don't want to spoil things. The whole thing is his first impression, so...
Right. And I think the big thing here is that most of them are not giving active chase and think that the group is going to Earth. The group is actually going to Jupiter while learning to read. And instead, it seems like the people who owned the ship before that they're using are coming after them. And that would be the people who are going to try capturing them.
Now, the funny thing is, despite what I just said about reacting to this as though they didn't just watch us 2 minutes ago and are waiting a week to watch us, are they headed to Jupiter?
Yes, they did. They mentioned, like, oh, we need to go to Jupiter for reasons.
Wow.
Which probably involve getting actual help or fuel or other things because they don't think that they can actually make it to Earth. Which is a fair assumption.
That's the part that I missed, even though I do recall bringing up Jupiter's on the map. When I pointed out that Venus and Mercury were not on the map.
So they're going to go hang out there, which, might I say, the trip to Jupiter ought to take several years. But we have space magic.
You know what else I don't recall being on the map?
What?
The asteroid belt. You'd figure
True.
it'd be a major part of, a navigational hazard between Jupiter and Mars, but
Well, really not so much. Like everyone thinks like an asteroid belt is like, oh yeah, in Star Wars where they're like literally zooming in between rocks that are about to bash into each other. It's like, no, each of them is probably like an entire planet width between them.
yeah.
You
I
would be
mean,
lucky to accidentally hit them.
I know that, but at the same time, you still want to know where those objects are.
Hmm.
Yeah, because remember when I did our Myriad Song game? This is, after all, the channel that does stream a lot of tabletop RPGs. I don't feel like it's off
Do
brand.
we? Wow.
It's I
Do we
don't
do them every Sunday and Wednesday at 10, 2, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Unfortunately not. No. Sometimes they don't happen. I mean, tune in because they could be happening, but
Do they happen at twitch.tv/Raktus?
yes, in fact. Are we selling plushies yet, Griffin?
Oh, you bet we aren't.
Anyway, like the Myriad Song game that I was running at one point, where I had multiple asteroid belts in one system.
Hmm.
I was using the realistic asteroid, layout, because I remember
Yeah.
Arcloid specifically bringing up trying to do battles around, swerving through asteroids. Like, no, just the one. And this section of space, it's just the one. You can swerve around that one if you want, but
Yup. But of course, you always got to balance, like, well, this is a fun simulation side of it, and this is the cool action side of it, where we're back to Star Wars again.
well, I just mean that in an asteroid belt, there are still moon-sized and smaller objects, and if you're keeping track of where the moon is, and you're keeping track of where space stations are, and where planets are, equally you
Mhm.
don't want to run into an asteroid.
You want to take a bet on if they're going to run into an asteroid?
It depends on what your bet is.
I mean, I'm just saying that they probably won't.
Well, then, no, I'm going to say they probably won't either.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
again, it's not on the map. The people who made the map animation decided it wasn't worth putting on the map. So I don't assume that the animators of the rest of the show are going to put it on the map.
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, again, though, they did decide there was going to be an asteroid in Mars orbit for some reason, so who knows?
Yeah, still weird. Maybe they confused their moons. Anyway, I guess let's go watch some whaling then, huh?
No, I'd rather watch an episode of Gundam. There's girlfriend.
Do
Nope.
girlfriend things.
Not
Wait,
the one.
oh,
Not the one that I was thinking of.
It's a new girlfriend.
Well, no, the one I'm thinking of was Brazilian.
Good.
I want to say she's Brazilian. She's
Anyway,
depicted in the way
I'm
Brazilians are.
gobbling that up.
And it goes straight for the bottom shot. Wonderful. Good job, anime.
Well, I mean, it
Never
kind of
changed.
started that way. Well, the ribbons were floating in the air, kind of make you think that she's not wearing a top
I
or
just
something.
heard there was a stop signal.
Mhm.
Those are some big words coming from a coward who ran off and left us to die like a bunch of dogs. Tell it to somebody who cares.
Who the hell are you?
So president of GSC then.
Bastard Orga. You hear me?
Miss Adams,
They still have him on the phone. I thought they just cut him off.
Absolutely.
This isn't good. They're directly on our 6.
But how? There was no Ahab Weave reaction.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, if they're good enough to pull that off, they could end up being a real problem.
Don't eat in the middle of your sentence. Come on.
Well, I mean, it gives you an effective
Please, get out of the way, alright?
pause to your words.
The name's
Be learning.
Naze Turban. I represent the Turbans.
Not even
Who might
Maruba.
you be? I'm the
Brazilian
leader of
girl I was
Tekkadan,
talking about, though.
Orga Itsuka.
Tekkadan. What? Give me a
I'm sure
break.
you know Maruba. The two of us have something of a working relationship.
The Turbans are actually a subsidiary crew of Tewaz.
Oh yeah?
Their group is on the smaller side, but Naze's a big shot. He even swore a Sakazuki blood oath to Tewaz's boss, McMurdo Barristan.
He sounds important.
I might be
situation
changing
couldn't
my
be any
character.
If we cross Tewaz too, it'll be the end for us.
In my defense, I did say that guy in the first opening.
Orga?
Don't you know it's rude to whisper when someone's trying to talk to you? I can't
We're still on the
stand guys
phone.
who gossip like old ladies. By the way, I caught a glimpse of your fight with Gallahorn the other day. Not bad for a bunch of kids. If you agree to return Maruba's property peacefully, I promise you won't be mistreated.
But I don't want everybody to go their separate ways.
Quit stress eating.
Sorry, Mr.
Oh god damn it! Your guy said a thing,
Accept your offer.
and now everything's gonna go sideways.
No.
You see, I've hired Tekkadan to escort me all the way to Earth. I can't have their company dissolved just yet.
You must be the famous Kudelia Ina Bernstein. Since you're considered Maruba's property, that'll make this even more complicated.
Property?
Excuse me, may I say one thing?
Huh? What is it, Chubby?
My name is Biscuit Griffin, sir.
What a delicious name!
No wonder you like him. His name is
I
Biscuit
love
Griffin.
Thank
That's
you very
your
much.
character now.
If
You
it's
cannot
possible,
get rid of
I would like
this.
to make a contract between Tekkadan
Biscuit
and the
Griffin.
twins.
Oh boy.
Crazy?
Would it be possible for us to use your route? Of course, we'd be more than happy to pay the appropriate tolls.
I'm afraid that's out of the question.
But why can't we?
I don't owe an explanation to a squawking little brat that stole everything he has.
Don't talk to my new
Besides, I
favorite
have my
character
own
like that.
principles when it comes to finishing a job.
That goes for you too, Maruba. We lost a lot of
Teenage
friends
angst
back
coming
there.
up.
We're gonna make sure you pay for each one of them.
Let's see you try it.
You're lost, kid. That arrogance of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
Oh, he was the original boss, wasn't he?
Looks like you're
Yeah, that's why I said. You said he got shot in the head. I'm like, no. He took the money.
No, I
and
said he
ran.
made out. I said he ran away with all the money.
No, you're just confusing. Who
Tell
said
Walker
what?
she better wear a normal suit this time.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody prepare for battle. Get to your stations now. Ozzy, I need you to come with me. Yes, ma'am. Of course.
Don't you want to bet that ship's gonna run into another ship at
Told
some
you
point?
to watch yourself. There was
Oh,
still
that'll be
room
cool.
for negotiation.
Called the Hammerhead.
Well aware
Got a
of that.
giant bulldozer front on it.
But I have no intention of backing down.
Now, maintain speed and turn 180. Prepare to exchange fire.
Yes, sir. Stowing away the bridge.
Odds are, anything we shoot at them won't matter, and anything they shoot at us also won't matter.
Will now engage in battle. Deactivating artificial gravity.
Oh, wait a minute!
Lock down all cooking.
Everyone, prepare
Lock
to
down the
descend
soup. Close the potato vat.
This is very much the end of Spaceballs.
I'm on it.
Cancel the three-ring
Out of
circus.
the way.
Turning 180 degrees.
Head
What
out.
happened to the giant hammerhead thing on the front of the ship?
Ozzy Guruman, launch
It is just perspective.
No, there it is. See,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
it wasn't there a second ago, though.
Turning their
It's like they forgot to draw it.
You passed the first test, kids.
She's the Brazilian girl I'm talking about. I mean, you see her, right?
Heading out.
Yeah.
I'm not being nationalistic here, am I?
Sorry about this, Mikazuki.
I can understand why you feel that way.
Fine-tuned yet? I really wish I didn't have to
Maybe they'll
send
just
you
come
out
out
like
and say
this.
it later.
As long as it moves, I can get by.
Try not to die out there. I'd feel guilty.
I plan to live longer than you, old man.
Now don't get carried away.
Even if he's have to shoot
He's
you in the head.
Hear me?
He's already planning the murder. Gosh, what
Yeah.
a psycho.
He's
Oh,
a
I can't
psychopath.
Can't imagine what person would have him as a favorite
It's not just
character.
the
Oh, I
reactor.
feel sorry
There's
for
also a
them.
weird
Yeah,
strain
now
on
Good
back
thing
the
I have
to-
motors.
biscuits.
Back to making
Well,
fun of your favorite character
just
for
do
being
what we
fat
can.
again.
Mikazuki.
Just like last time, you couldn't remember his name. I started naming him after food.
Understood. Let's do this.
Okay.
Like
bring
the,
down Barbatos.
you know, writers
Look,
did.
my boy Porridge can do whatever he wants.
Mikazuki August. I'm in Barbatos. Heading out.
I'm expecting a fair fight because the Brazilian chick, covered in scars, by the way, which tells me she's got experience.
Right.
And also she had the back side position of, you know, like bodyguard type thing.
Right, she's supposed to be the heavy hitter here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what they can do.
Ozzy.
Oh, they
don't
put
get in
her in the
ship's
pink
line of
suit?
fire.
Come on.
Roger that.
All right. It's time for your spanking.
It's pink so that you know she's a woman. Sometimes I hate things. Oh, it's actually just like a forward shield. Okay, that kind of makes
Don't
sense.
maneuver properly.
a hammerhead.
They'll close in, and then we'll be within range of
But
their
of course,
anti-ship
since
napalm.
they've got all this extra armor,
Missiles
now we can
approaching.
shoot at it, show that taking damage. Unlike everything else.
If we get hit repeatedly, even the nanolaminate armor will disintegrate. We need to stay far enough to still
Mind you,
intercept them.
repeatedly, which means we can still
Our
take
distance
hits.
isn't enough.
The enemy is holding their course.
Man, my guy is good at everything. He's a farmer, he's a mechanic, he's a
I like the crew
pilot.
of my ship a lot more than the crew of your ship.
Yes, sir.
Hit on the upper deck. Air pressure's dropping fast. Closing off the upper
Everyone there is dead.
Yeah, basically, sealed them all in. It's like the beginning to
My
Abyss.
nails didn't have time to dry yet.
Another mobile suit! Our artillery isn't gonna cut it!
Miss Atmos, contact Mikazuki and Akihiro. We have to call back the mobile suits or we're in big trouble.
When did that one come out?
Don't look away.
Why would they be in trouble?
Sorry,
3 of them
Akihiro.
attacked them last
Can
time.
you
They
take
killed
the two in
1,
front
and
of
the
us?
other 2 just didn't matter anymore.
Sure.
It's like having a close-in fighter on your big ship, you know? They can't do anything.
You guys have been left to me.
This lobster has one thick shell.
I feel like we have
never gonna mess
sympathy
with the
plot
Issa
protection
Reedy
on
again.
our guys.
Wow, he's so rude.
A little bit.
They're not going to kill. Well, never mind. She's probably killable now.
Damn it, fast.
They're not going to kill cute girls in
Having
mechs.
trouble keeping up?
But then she turned into pervert mode. Like, oh, nothing I get off to do more than killing people. Which makes you instantly killable in anime.
My propulsion power's stronger!
This character is literally a distraction, though.
Yeah.
Pulling away one of the 2 actual fighters to just go and chase something faster than it. So the trained soldiers gave him no problem, but these girls are giving him the run for his money.
Well, they're like a mercenary organization, right? Trained soldiers probably would have a hard time with the mercenaries, too.
Over.
There! I've got you.
This is nothing!
In fact, I know how to read.
Mikazuki, go ahead and use your reading to get out of the situation.
Missiles.
Better not let him hit us.
Intercepting them.
I feel like my new main character has the appropriate level of
What's going
disinterest.
Were they just making a smokescreen? Or are they?
What's happening?
Ahab wave reaction increasing. It's as if they're heading right for us.
Well, good thing our ship has a giant fucking hammerhead shield on it. Seems like it's a stupid move on their part. Pull up,
Just-
ram them in the middle.
Turn 90 degrees like that.
Well, that was stupid.
That was pretty ballsy. But we're not gonna let you escape that easily.
I mean, also, yeah, his ship is
Target is
faster
turning
than
fast.
theirs. So what
They're
did that
closing in on us.
accomplish?
Yeah, they
Guts,
can't
I'll
keep
give you
pulling off
that,
this
but
maneuver
you're
and expect
still
it to
immature
work.
and playing with someone
Remember, this guy
twice your
sped up
size.
and caught up with them.
What happened?
Explosion in the cargo block. We have intruders on board.
Believe
Been
me, those kids
interested,
are nothing but
end of the
filthy
season.
space rats.
Space rats? Do you mean that you forced the Alea Vignana operation onto those kids?
You bet I did.
They said they did it on their own.
You did a decent job
Well,
keeping your distance. Let's chase
I think it's
them.
safe to say everyone in universe hates this guy.
You're not getting away.
You better move it!
Damn, they're
Nah, I
strong.
don't like this guy because of the mech he drives. So,
Mikazuki left me to deal with you. So that's what I'm
Oh,
gonna
he's about to give his
do.
life here.
I won't pull back. I can't afford to.
I would earn new respect for the show if he did die right now. Like, he said that and then got a blade right through the middle of his
I
cockpit.
wasn't expecting you to play aggressively.
Why did the cannon explode? It already fired the shot. There was nothing left.
I guess it got stabbed.
Oh, how adorable. You think you can stop me by using brute force? Well, I can play rough too.
You literally did a knee to the crotch of the mech suit.
Control isn't helping anymore,
No, she kneed the head, and the head disintegrated, so her mech is harder armored
You're just
than
gonna sink the
his.
Isaribi. You won't get in Orca's way.
You're the one who's in the way, pipsqueak!
Oh, hey, it's the asteroid belt.
We said their ship, though. And we both
said
agreed
their
it was
ship.
a no as well.
Oh, wow, Mikazuki's
It
dead.
was really
Jeez.
fun.
I didn't think they'd do that.
No, they didn't get rid of the cord. For some reason, she tied herself around the asteroid
Now
thing
you're
and then
mine.
didn't release the cord.
To be fair, it's stuck in the mech. She doesn't,
Right,
have
no.
control.
She thought she dragged the mech
Time for you to
around.
disappear.
Oh, that's right, because it's from him, not from her.
Sorry for all the trouble, Amida. Come on back. I've decided to listen to their story.
Ha! He was about to die. Though I still lose respect
Is
because
it
he
over?
didn't.
It had to end in a draw.
Didn't have to. That guy's a nobody. And she's clearly a somebody.
was such a tease.
Our third love interest.
Yeah.
I'm so unsatisfied. This is really frustrating. I'm burning up inside. Ugh. I'll have
That
to
character
have
has
my
the same
dad
feelings
help
we do.
release
It's
all
like,
this
yeah, we
tension.
wanted to see someone die.
Next time on Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron-Blooded Orphans. Episode 8. The Form of Closeness.
The form of
Okay,
close-
just so
okay.
we can be clear, what's the thing you just said about the ending the next time on?
The character doing the outro was as upset as we are that someone didn't die. They wanted to finish it.
I want to point out what you're saying and what was said by that character. That character is making sex analogies about how close she was to
Yeah,
finishing, and she's burning
she's-
up inside. That's
Yeah,
not
she's
how I
making
felt at all.
innuendos.
I was not making any uncomfortable similes between me and anime characters' sexual arousal. Anyway, what I was thinking before the end credits starting is I'm losing respect for this anime because it's making these people into superpower characters where they can't lose. They're not losing anybody. The only people they lose are the people who are no names that we've never met before. And then they're taking no losses the moment they got into space.
Man, I just hate it that, like, in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter just lives through the books. He just keeps... Man, I hate it when the protagonist exists and continues the story.
Like, you mean like how he got into an argument or a fight with Ron about Hermione and how he did lose a bunch of stuff along the way, and now how not all of his life went exactly as he wanted to. From the point of the start of the story onwards, which is what I'm alluding to here. And also, you remember how Harry wasn't part of a mercenary organization who's constantly getting into fights with high-powered weapons?
No, he starts one.
No, he didn't start one. One was started before he was even born. Also, not
he
high-powered
starts
weapons.
the Order of the Phoenix thing, but let's not talk about Harry Potter.
You brought it up.
I know.
I'm saying that they do lose people. People have died in the Order of the Phoenix.
Right.
They lost people in fights.
But yeah, so far, our heroes group hasn't really lost anyone. You are right. They are a bit invulnerable right now. But I feel like what's happening is that they're just kind of pulling in characters and demonstrating how they rank against our main characters, so we have a feel of what they can and can't handle in the future. They've been in 3 fights, maybe 4, right?
And now they're going up against a military organization with the best trained fighters, and those military people lost. And then we're going up against the mercenary organization that's small but highly well known and in control of the travel lanes and holding their own. And it's like, I just need the guy who's been shown to have no experience. Like, he got into a fight once and was over his head. And then he says something to clearly the right-hand lady of the guy who's in charge of the mercenary organization. He says something brash to her, and then doesn't die as a result. And it's like, that would be the perfect time for him to get sword through the cockpit.
Yeah, it would have. But then they'd be down to back to just the Gundam, which they need to have more forces. They need to have a build-up.
They have a ship.
Basically have nothing.
They have a ship with missiles and guns. But
I
as we've
wonder how long
already
it's going to be
pointed
before
out,
they run out of ammo.
but as we've already pointed out, guns and missiles don't matter because the ships never get hurt.
They literally just exist for smoke screens.
We introduced a ship whose name is Hammerhead and has a giant plow on the front, and then refused to let them ram one another.
They didn't pay it off.
I hate to point it out here, but two ships ramming together, if you're going to do a boarding action, that would have been the moment to do it. And it's not like we didn't spend time with people getting into spacesuits. They would have been fine. Just have them all in the spacesuits, and that makes it even worse. Because then, one bullet, oh my god, my suit's been ruptured. We get tense moments. The scenes write themselves, is what I'm saying. And we're skipping it over to have anime nothingness. A fight, look, if you spend 10 minutes on a fight, and the end result of the fight is we're exactly as good as we were before, then the fight didn't matter.
I think it was the tension that it could go on and end with them losing if it didn't end because of the Gambit play, which definitely should not have worked.
Okay, if you're saying your point is that the stakes of the fight is that the fight could have lasted longer, which would mean that the stakes of the fight where there were no stakes.
No, if the fight lasted a little longer, they would have lost. The stakes are they were going to lose. They were set up to lose.
Who was set up to lose?
The Decadent. They would have lost without the Gambit.
No, they boarded the other ship.
Was...
They boarded the other ship, which means that...
Yeah, that's the Gambit I'm talking about.
I'm including that as part of the fight, though. The entire fight scene is the Gundam, the mechas outside, the two ships fighting each other, and then the crew boarding. That's all part of the fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that the Gambit is part of the fight scene. I'm saying that the end result of the fight, including the ships fighting and the boarding action and the smokescreen, is exactly the same as when we started the episode. We're trying to negotiate with you. Fight scene, 20 minutes later, we're negotiating with you. Nothing has changed. Nobody's dead, no loss of resources, no relationship
they got
changes.
Beat up.
Doesn't matter.
Beat
Doesn't
up.
matter. Literally, we'll go back to the hangar bay with the guy with the weird beard thing going on. Oh god, I'm working on these things again. I'm almost fixed. I can pick them up. They'll be just fine. The next episode, no one has any lasting damage. No one's hurt bad enough that they have to go see a doctor. No, none of the ships are damaged enough. Literally, nothing has happened other than we got a fight scene. No element of the story has changed. No one's relationship has been damaged or made better. None of these ships have received irrevocable damage.
They started with an establishment of the relationship, and it changed in this scene.
To what?
Over the episode. They are now friends.
Who?
They fought, and now they're friends.
No, they're negotiating. Literally, he said from the communication thing, hey, let's negotiate. And Biscuit brought up, hey, let's have a working relationship. And they're like, no. And then we fought. And then we got, at the end, a communication,
right.
Hey...
Naze didn't respect them initially. They fought, and now he respects them. They won.
No, I think you misread. That's not respect thing. It's hey, we found out that these guys have been treated like dogs, and I don't appreciate kids being treated that way. It's not respect.
That is also highly possible.
Well, that's what, because remember the guy said it?
Yeah.
He said space rats, and he said, wait a second, you mean? And he's like, yeah, I did that fucking thing to these space rats. And
the thing that everyone in universe hates.
Yeah, well, I don't know that everyone in the universe hates. Apparently, a lot of the adults thought that was just fine. Because remember, everybody on the base thought it was fine. That's why those
right, and they're all jerks, assholes that everybody hates.
No, it seems like everybody was just fine with it. Like even the military guys were like, "Yeah, it's fucking what's happening."
No, they went and said, "Wait a second, you're doing this on kids? Oh, this is terrible."
No, one guy said that. One guy was
your guy.
No. What are you talking about?
Crank hated this.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry. I thought you meant... No, I was talking about the blue guys, the cops. The one cop vomited when he saw the thing.
Oh, the cops just don't care about anything.
Yeah, cop's marrying a 9-year-old. I'm just saying that... the vast majority of people we've seen... Crank was a standout for being against it. Everybody else didn't care.
Mhm.
He's like, I can't have my men doing this, implying that his men would have done it, versus him, who's a standout. The cops had no problem with it, except for the one guy who thought it was disgusting. He didn't seem to have any moral obligation other than, that looks sick, I'm going to throw up.
Still, you want more stakes, which is totally fair. Maybe we'll see even more of them because, well, things are going to get more dangerous.
I think next episode's going to be all negotiation, so I don't think there's going to be much
Oh, yeah.
stakes. Literally, I guess
we're reaching our lower tension, and then the tension will rise later.
I
again.
guess literally we'll have the most stakes next time because that's all you have in negotiations, while at the same time having absolutely no stakes because if you don't agree to a negotiation, you don't lose anything. You just don't gain anything.
Yep. Well, I think that's going to go ahead and cover it for this episode. I'm Griffin, this is Theta, and we'll catch you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?